So I was like, Shark Tank is booming right now. This was pre-COVID, so probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and Shark Tank was like probably the #1 show on America, and I was like, this is a perfect. Lori Greer, let's go. Like, put us in QVC.
Yeah,
this is it. So I, researched how to get on Shark Tank. You basically apply and you fill out these 20-page, what are your sales? How did you start your business? This whole thing. And I sent it. We had 2 interviews, and then we had a final interview, and that was like, all right, you made it to the final stage. It is the video stage. Video is basically the video that you see when you're watching them on the show, where it's like,
send in what you want to talk about.
Yeah, how did you get started? Who helped you? Blah, blah, blah. We sent that in. With COVID hitting at that moment, it was a massive, like, we'll get back to you. We're all out of the office. So we had to wait probably like 4 or 5 months for them to tell us that this season was we're going a different direction.
Dude, we all have the best time ever to start a small business.
If I'm not going to be 100% in, I'm not going to do it.
Come on, man, just be yourself.
Yeah, and
just show up as yourself.
If you don't realize what I'm really about, I'm about freedom, family, and my country.
Maddie, Rega, cheers.
Cheers, my man. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for coming back here. What do you think about the setup? Pretty cool?
I love it. It's awesome. It's I've been following you on YouTube and stuff, so I'm excited to get back here. It's super relaxing. It's like
just hanging out with your boys.
Just hanging out with your boys in your backyard. The fire going, some drinks. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate the invite.
Total Point vibe.
It is, for sure. Close to the beach. You got the fire going. Nice October. The lights, these are like super popular right now.
Costco, dude, I don't know how these things haven't fell down yet. I mean, I've had fires over the wire and it's still intact. I don't know how.
I was gonna say, it could be a little fire hazard.
We got a great, fire staff here in town, so.
Yeah, my fiance loves it. Like, I don't know, they're super popular. I guess they're
Costco lights. That's where you can pick them up.
Yeah, they look
$50.
Good. The whole ambiance here is perfect.
It's chill. Thank you, man. Thank you. We have a lot of fun. We thoroughly enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy it. For the people who may watch, who haven't watched before, that are your viewers or your friends or your family, this show really was started because I was a young kid that didn't do well, and as I came up through business, it was very hard to get some help. Yeah. And probably mostly on me, right? Chippy kid, didn't really know anything. I wanted to go from 0 to 100 real quick. Piss and vinegar. and there wasn't a lot of free content back then. And even today, you want to get the coaches, you're going to have to stroke a check. I just hired this guy, Keaton. He's called The Muscle from Diesel Brothers on Discovery.
Cool.
Dude, you want to get in the proximity of these people, you got to stroke the checks. And I get it, because these people are busy.
Yeah.
But what about the young guy starting out? And to pivot over, you're the young guy that has tried a lot of different things. Your cousin actually reached out to me, filled out the application for you.
Yeah, Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
And I give him credit for having the balls, if I'm allowed to say that. I don't know if his mom will watch.
There, sorry, we're good.
to reach out, dude.
Yeah.
And be like, dude, my cousin is a hard worker. He loves the community. It was genuine. I was like, let's grab coffee with this dude. And after I have coffee, I'm like, he's a good dude. You own the Beach Shack Deli right here in Point Pleasant Beach, right up at the boardwalk. People come down here, you're like a staple. Your mom is very involved in the business.
Yeah, Carlene, another legend.
She does an amazing job. She gives out delicious cookies. I don't know the profit you're making on the cookies because she's always trying to give them to my kids.
They go so quick. Mrs. Bailey makes
She's a local
She's
person.
a local, Point Pleasant Borough. Homemade cookies, and they fly all. It's like we can't even keep. We have people that come in that literally buy like 10 or 12 of them. Like I try to buy 50 to 70 at a pop, and before I know it, they're like, "Where are they?" I'm like, "You just got them Friday." I was like, "Saturday afternoon. I'm sorry, you came late.
Crazy.
You got to buy them bulk. Got to buy them in bulk."
They're delicious.
It's basically a giant soft cookie dough ball.
It's dangerous.
We only do chocolate chip with us, but she's got Reese's Pieces. She's got Oreo mix. She's super talented. Yeah, she's got a whole super talented. We get the secret stuff on the side, the peanut butter.
As long as
stuff.
I know you, I'm good.
I got you, dude. I got you. Anyone.
And my son loves them as well. My wife does too.
Yeah, they're super addicting.
So, what I typically do is chronologically walk through people's life and just give a little bit of a backstory. And again, we don't have to spend a ton of time on, your elementary years through high school, but Point Beach kid, you wrestled here in the beach.
Yep.
Tell us about going to Point Pleasant Beach, what it means to you to still be involved in this community now as a business owner, and obviously in the future looking to start your own family here.
Yeah, so born and raised in Point Pleasant Beach. My dad was from Cranford, my mom was from Jersey City. So my dad always had a summer house here. My mom moved here when she was younger, so they met in the summer lust of the Jersey Shore.
They were hanging out at the Manasquan houses.
Yeah. My dad had
houses.
one by Bradshaw's Beach, I'm pretty sure. So they met there young, and they started a family, pretty young, and we lived in Point Pleasant, ever since. But yeah, I mean, I love Point Pleasant Beach. It's like when you're younger, you don't appreciate, like small towns.
You don't know what you have.
Yeah, small, not enough kids in the school. You think, Bricktown has so many kids, Toms River has so many kids, but it's like when you really think back, it's like it was so nice being so close to all your classmates, your teammates. It's like
I'm from Brick, and they raised who I am today, so I have no dirt to throw on them. But it was a difficult school. There's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I knew every kid in my high school. That's crazy. I don't think here in Borough or Beach you could say that. I mean, there's not that many kids per graduating class. And the extra help you get, and I wasn't a great student, probably could have helped if I was in a town like Point Pleasant, but it's just the community, man. It's awesome. It's the schools, it's the business owners, politicians aside, I don't know any of them, but everything else is something I looked for and I wanted to raise my family in, and I know my wife thinks the same. Tell us a little bit about your wrestling career. You're a pretty competitive guy there.
Yeah. I'm all old and out of shape now, but I wrestled from kindergarten through first, second year of college. Then I finally
What weight class were you at?
Ooh, I was a little guy. High school, I guess we could start. I was at 103 my freshman year, 112 my sophomore year, 119 my junior year, and I bounced from 119 to 125 my junior and senior year. It was just a super passion for me. I really loved it right off the bat. It was it's a lot. It's a tough and trying sport.
Who was your coach over there at the time?
So I started rec back when I was in kindergarten. It was Mike Sergio, and my dad actually helped out a lot when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And then high school was Dan O'Cone. Yeah. I owe a lot of my success to Dan O'Cone and Mike. They paved the way for me. Dan was another, Point Beach graduate, very successful in wrestling. He's a principal now in Bricktown.
You wrestled with Short Thing as well, right?
I did. Vinny Santinello was like a longtime friend of mine.
Vinny's an animal.
Yeah, Vin is a savage. He was like one of my first coach other than the rec program. Once I started, I realized I had a little talent. I guess my dad realized I had a little talent. They put me in a few programs, and Short Thing was my first program. It was.
He's still going strong today, and his sons are both studs.
Oh my, they're savages. They are just like him. He's a role model. He's another role model. He's
great guy, leader of men.
Yep.
True leader of men. Funny story. I told this once before, but due to my not liking of school when I was younger, and I'm no longer embarrassed to say this, but I just like to put it out there for others who may be going through these types of struggles. I was kicked out of Bricktown and put into an alternative program.
Memorial or Old Brick?
Old Brick. Called Pathways. And Vinny Santinello was, at the time, before he went to the sheriff, he was doing Short Thing, and he was a teacher's assistant. And I spit out the window, and the wind blew it on this kid, and he punched me in the face, and he was a smaller kid, and who knows what would have happened, but Vinny wasn't going to allow me to grab him, and he put me in this judo throw real quick.
Oh, yeah, you don't want Vinny to grab a hold of you, that's it for you.
Oh, dude, and I was still a pretty big kid, and he just threw me like I was a rag doll.
No,
But great guy.
He's especially what he's done with like the program and the kids, he gives back. He puts his, so many personal hours into the program, into kids. So,
dude, he's going on Sundays. He's bringing down college coaches.
Yeah.
And I know there's a ton of different programs, and they all have their different pros and cons. I just know my personal experience with Vinny. He's just a class act and a good guy. I run into him every once in a while at Lowe's. We chop it up for 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's the man. It's been wrestling's a very competitive sport. It always has been, and now there's just a lot of other groups and other local communities that are being involved. So it's cool. It's a lot. It's a lot of crazy memories of wrestling.
Well, it ties you into this town and all the parents that were there, and to fast forward, you obviously went to Hofstra, wrestled there, graduated. What degree did you graduate with?
Marketing degree.
Marketing.
So I went to I graduated Point Beach in 2006. And then I went to Del Valle, was my first school. It was a community college. It was in Pennsylvania. It just wasn't for me.
Why'd you go there in PA? Were you like looking for the mountains? Were you looking?
No, I went there. The coach was like,
Oh, wrestling.
yeah, wrestling. I went there for wrestling. They gave me a nice academic scholarship. It just, farm on campus just wasn't my style. I was, I love the city.
You're at the farm today, bro.
I am at the farm today, yeah. But
I picked these mums
for
just
school,
you.
I didn't want to go to the farm. I wanted, I guess a little bigger school. I went
Have
there.
some fun.
Yeah, so it was a good year, but
How'd you like Hofstra?
I loved Hofstra. I loved my fiance, my now fiance, my girlfriend at the time was in the city at a fashion school, so it was nice and close. And then being close to the city,
What's
I
your
ended
fiance's name? Let's give her a
Chelsea
love.
Klankoff. What's up, baby? I love
There you go. There you go.
But I ended up working at a marketing and licensing agency as an intern in the city, so it kind of worked out. And I learned a lot from them. It was the Joster Lawyer Group in Union Square. So I guess that kind of
Where was your favorite happy hour?
happy hour. Honestly, the Dizzy Lizard at Hofstra. It was just close by.
I'm talking about in the city.
Oh, in the city? I'm more of a club guy. I didn't go too many bars.
happy
but
hours?
No, not many happy hours.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it was my schedule. I made it Monday, Tuesday, all day intern. So like from 8 to 5, went home, took the LIR home, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was class. So just honestly, just bunkered down on books. And
Did you know what you wanted to do with a marketing career leaving college?
No. It's funny, like the way the whole Beach Shack came about. It was, I went to school for marketing. I lifeguarded every summer, so I would come home.
You let the beach shack out. We didn't even get there yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry. I was just tying it in, but I lifeguarded every summer, so I would go to lifeguard at Point Beach at Jenkinson's, and then I would go to college. And I didn't know. I knew marketing. Honestly, it was like an easier path.
Yeah.
Like graduating, I knew I didn't
Just
want
wanted a degree.
Yeah, I just wanted a degree. Accounting wasn't for me.
It's
I
not
didn't
for
want to
most
be.
people.
I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't want to coach wrestling or anything. So I figured, marketing seems cool, and I had that internship that kind of helped me. They dealt with Coca-Cola, Discovery Channel. So I was like, maybe this is the right path.
So you leave college.
I leave college.
You
Yeah.
come home, and I'm trying to remember our conversation with coffee. We were all over the map.
Yeah.
We hit it off. You came home, and your dad was like, "Hey, I bought you a breakfast shop."
Yeah. So
More or less, right?
Pretty much. It was as lifeguarding all those years, it was called Joe's Sub Shed, and that's where I got my breakfast sandwich every day. I worked 5-6 days a week, so I would go to work. At lunch break, we'd go grab pork roll, egg, and cheeses from the Sub Shed up the street. And my dad, I think Joe passed away. The family still wanted to keep the business as a deli or something, and my dad was close with the family, and they're like, would you like to take over? And he's like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll give it to my sons.
Yeah.
So school graduated.
Like, wow, Dad, you just threw me right into this one.
Yeah, he comes home, and I'm like, all right, another year lifeguarding. He's like, well, I got the deli for you and your brother. I'm like, deli?
Deli?
What do you mean got me a deli? He's like, the old Sub Shed, I thought it would be perfect for you and Nick. Nick's my younger brother. He's younger than me, 4 years younger than me. But he's like, mainly it's for you. And I was like, Dad, I didn't take the trash out. Like, they want me to run a deli. I don't.
Yeah, Dad, I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know.
doing.
I don't know cooking. I don't know. I'm
Yeah, I don't
very
know anything
aggressive
here.
young teenager. Like, I don't know what you want me to do with this.
Why did you think this was a good idea? Dad?
Yeah, exactly.
He
He's
knew
like,
exactly why it was a good idea.
I'm hoping he saw something in me back then that I didn't see.
No, he absolutely did.
So,
and not only because it's your own father, but, to just say, I'm going to buy a business for my son.
Yeah.
And just throw it to him with zero experience. He had some faith in there.
Yeah, he did, and I owe a lot to my father. He does a lot for me. He always has.
Your mom and dad are involved helping you out over there. It's huge.
Yeah. My mom is a staple to the Beach Shack at this point. She's been a huge part of the business and the growth over the years. So yeah, I came home.
She's awesome. She's out there like the old school Italian mom, or whatever you guys are.
She's in the mix.
She's out there. Hey, where you going? How's the family?
Yeah, we're Irish and Italian. My dad's more Irish. My mom.
I'm Irish and Italian
My dad's
as well.
more Italian. My mom's more Irish. But yeah, they gave me the business. The first year was very, very rocky. We find old pictures, and it's like these little griddles that you buy at Walmart.
What were we doing?
Yeah. I still look back, and I'm like, how did this go to this?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
So we hired all like close family friends, a lot of like, local people, local families that we've known, their kids. I was younger that age, so it was a lot of like my friends helping out too. So
you were getting involved in the business. You were literally cutting your teeth with a business. Now I want to talk a little bit about what I've observed about you.
Sure.
You're a risk taker. You want to try different things, and you want to go and be that entrepreneur who takes risks and tries to take something that they put down on paper and take it to something that is your end goal, your vision that you had earlier. And a lot of people shy away from that.
Yeah.
They want to do the regular job, and I don't hate that at all. If you're a teacher or you're working in corporate, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. But the risk taker in you, right? Still, when you have a pretty good business that's, pretty sustainable, right? You die down in the winter a little bit.
Yep.
But you guys are booming over there. You're still trying to better yourself. But I want to bring us back. I don't want to get too far ahead. The Beach Shack is open. Your first 5 years, you start to grow this out. And to paint a picture for everybody who's listening and who's never been to the Beach Shack, you walk in, what is your square footage right there? Where the cooler is, the one little high top, and where you order?
It's not much.
500 square feet maybe?
Yeah, maybe. We call it the Beach Shack because it's a shack.
Yeah.
It is this little...
It's cool as shit.
Yeah, it's like when it was called Joe's Shed, it was like a shed. You go in, and the way I've changed the location a few times to make it a little more efficient for us, but you walk in, self-made, make your own coffee on the right, and then you come up and order, and the kitchen and the grills and stuff are in the back.
Yeah, but you don't have much room back there where the grills are. You guys are running an efficient line. Talk about that a little bit. For the business owner, I know the Jersey Mike's guys talked a lot about that. Matt did, of how much someone moving 2 inches to the right made a big deal with the efficiency. I said this literally to you while we were hanging out at my bar. I was like, dude, I could call you up with 3 custom orders, and you guys are usually spot on within 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and you're pumping out a lot of sandwiches when I get there.
It's crazy. If you think about it, we go through, on a busy Saturday, we go through about 20 dozen bagels and probably about another 12 dozen rolls.
Wow.
So that's a lot of sandwiches.
Yeah, that is.
And that's why, like, efficiency is key. And, even like you said, Mike Subs, like, part of that I've learned through Mike Subs. Bubba Coos was another part of my,
you worked at Bubba Coos as well?
No, I didn't work there, but like their layout, their system. Yeah. Just you have to have an efficient line.
We had Paul on right before you 2 days ago.
I watched his episode. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's done a great job with Bubba Coos. That's awesome. But yeah, just having an efficient line. You have to have, like you said, the inches, it really matters. And especially in a tight spot.
Yeah.
So the way it works out is you come up, you order, mostly through me if I'm there on the weekends, hand the ticket goes back to the girls who are the preppers. They get the bagels for you. Well, bagels for the...
Yeah, for the sandwich.
For the sandwiches, they give it to the kitchen staff, and the kitchen gets the ticket. They bang out your sandwiches, give it back to the girls for topping and cutting, and it goes right back up to the register.
Let's talk about your sandwiches for a minute.
All right, let's go.
I'm naturally a big guy. I mean, I'm shredded. I mean, you guys can tell me I'm pretty shredded.
All jacked up. Let's go.
I'm shredded, baby. But I'm a big guy. I like my pork, leg, and cheeses, man. I've been getting them for a long time. It's funny, when I was in that Pathways, it was on the 88 Circle. And there was this old school Italian dude. He would throw down a meat. He was throwing like 4 slices of thick pork roll, and my fat ass was over there all the time grabbing them. Needless to say, I like pork, leg, and cheese.
Yeah.
DV Tree's got a great little sandwich.
Joe's awesome.
Shout out to Joe and Malin. They got a great sandwich, and he's got a cool little operation there as well.
Yeah, very
I think
awesome.
on the weekend he's pumping out probably the same, if not maybe a little bit more sandwiches too. But you put together some love in that sandwich.
It's built with love.
It
Honestly,
really is, dude. Tell us about that and why and how you get that out of those people working for you.
I'll quote Jamie from Eat Clean Bro. It's the layers. It's like people don't. Some places just throw in their pork roll, their cheese, their egg. I think the layers that we have, the setup that we have, it just like impacts you the best.
Jamie gave you that love. Did he say layers right on his story?
He did say layers. Yeah,
he did.
Jamie's the best.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, I think just the way, you have to give enough pork roll. You have to give enough eggs. You have to give enough cheese. And then, like, the thickness of pork roll. You can't have it too thick, can't have it too thin.
It's got to be right.
It's got to be just right. And I think we do an awesome job there.
Yeah, and some people throw the hash brown on there. You guys put that on
That's our
nice
special.
too.
The special is probably one of the most, that and the Shack Attack. The Shack Attack is a heart attack. It is pork roll, bacon, sausage, egg, cheese, hash brown.
Yeah, I
It
can't
is
do that.
everything in one sandwich.
And you guys even throw it on a wrap for me. I don't know if I feel like I'm being skinny or something, not getting a
A
bagel.
lot of
but
people go wrap thinking it helps saving on the carbs.
I feel like I just digest a bagel. I eat it and it's like, poof, and it's like right there on
Right
my
to your-
stomach
right to
for
your
2
stomach, yeah.
days.
The bagel, I don't even know how. Honestly, the Shack, I would rather it on a roll or like a wrap. It's too. I don't know how people do it.
It's
too,
dense
it's
like
too
a bagel.
much. Yeah.
The wrap is. You guys do a great job for me, and you put some egg whites on there, and you
Yeah.
customize it for me. I just want to say, if you have not been to the Shack for a breakfast sandwich, what is the date you open? May 15th.
It varies every season, but once the weather, I would say at least by mid-May we're open.
Yeah, mid-May.
Mid-May
If
to
you
October.
haven't been there, you need to get over there. It is a delicious sandwich.
Yeah, come on by. We'll take care of you guys.
Yeah, and you know, you're talking about how many sandwiches you're cranking out, man. That's a great little business you got going on there, and you could build upon it. You've probably learned
Yeah.
a ton. So that takes me to my next point. You start to say, hey, you know, I have a full-time job at the Hess Company.
Yep.
Right.
Been
Shout
there for
out
7 years.
to Hess and the Hess Company. Talk a little bit about what you learned there, and we talked a little bit earlier about Larry.
Yeah. I used to run my deli, and then I would go live in California for the winter. So I would, every October I would close up shop, pack my bags, and go to LA. It started with visiting a friend out there, and I went out there, and I called my mom and dad the day I was supposed to get picked up from the airport, and I was like, "Don't go to the airport." My dad's like, "Why? What do you mean?" I was like, "Not coming home." They're like, "All right, we'll see you at 7." And I was like, "No, I'm not coming home. I'm giving you a shot out here." This was like my first time out there, and they're like, "What do you like? No, we get on the plane and come home. You're visiting for 10 days." And I go, "No, I'm figuring it out." I figured it out. I ended up
Again, that's the risk taker in you.
yeah, I ended up sleeping on my friend's couch for a while, but I ended up, meeting some people I knew, meeting the right people, and I started working at a few nightclubs. And I was just like, I was your bottle service guy. I'd bring you your mixers, bring you out, napkins, straws, whatever. I don't know if you know anything about LA, but it's a very popular, it's like a city, big city like, New York and stuff, so it's very popular in nightlife. So you make pretty
Only
good.
thing I know is that they're still wearing masks there.
I'm happy this transition was
You were
like,
there earlier,
I
10
was there
years ago.
earlier. Yeah, it wasn't as bad, but I ended up working at a few popular nightclubs. Being able to make a living for myself on the winter time without having to come home. So I did that. I ended up moving to Hollywood with a few guys. It was basically a frat house. It was a big house in the Hollywood Hills, and did that, and then came home, and.
What'd you learn from the bottle club service at the club?
Oh man, it was humbling. It was going out there. You think you're the man. You got a business back home. You're popular in your small community, but out there you're this
Nobody,
big. You're
yeah.
this big. You're a nobody.
Especially when someone's ordering a $2,000 bottle of something.
yeah, and they treat you like
You're the
you're-
go-getter.
Yeah, just what do you mean? You didn't get me my orange juice?
Where's my big cube?
So it was tough, but obviously, you gotta suck it up. You gotta do what you gotta do. I ended up growing in the business, and I ended up becoming a host, which is if you're a frequent LA person, you contact me and you'll come to my club and I'll take care of you. So I ended up
It's kind of
growing
like
the
the
business.
chick at Butcher Block. I don't know her, but I know everybody hits her up for some
Yeah,
tables.
exactly. Yeah, I got you a table. Come through me, and I make a percentage off of your table.
Mm-hmm.
So that experience was cool. But yeah, so I came home. No, I was out in LA and Sandy hit, so I couldn't get in touch with my
2012.
couldn't get in touch with my family.
Freaking.
I'm probably seeing footage that even people here haven't seen because I'm watching the news in LA of like the cameras and the helicopter view of like my home underwater. It was when I saw the Manaloking
Bridge cut in
connection.
half, yeah.
I was like, what is going on? So I tried to get a flight home. By the time I talked to my parents, I was literally on the way to the airport. And they're like, we're fine. The shack is pretty much gone. It's underwater. I'm like, who cares about the shack? Everyone's good, family's good, yeah. So I come home, we clean up the shack, and then while I'm there, we got no help from FEMA. We got, everything I had saved had to go back into, if I wanted to open that summer, whatever I had was going back into that store. So there was no going back to LA. It was bunkered down back home with mom and dad and get the shack open.
So jumping back in, we took a little break. Got a high noon. You got a little bit more Casamigos.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Casamigos. If you guys hear this, your marketing team, your social media team,
Gives the guy some bottles.
you give me some bottles and maybe a little bit of coin. We can have Casamigos out here every day.
And back the old days, I'll maybe bring out some mixers for you.
There you go. He'll come over. He'll light the bottle.
Light the candles, some flares for you guys. Let's go. You get the club going back here.
So, the AD's jumping in.
Shoot.
So Sandy happens, and Sandy was tragic.
Crazy.
Right? I lived right here,
right
at the condominiums, right in Point Pleasant Beach, right across from the Arc. We got water there. At the time, I was dating a girl who lived up in Clark Colonial area, and they actually came in with weapons, the reserves.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they weren't pointing them at us, but they were pretty assertive, like, dude, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, especially in Bayhead area.
Yeah, this is coming right for us. So I was like, shit, I better go up there. Long story short, we don't have to go through that whole thing. It was tragic.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who lives here. It was a terrible time. But for some people to have such disasters, for others, it's the thing that was necessary to put them back on track. So talking about you thinking you're going to be a club owner or doing whatever you were doing out there, living
Who knows
your
what the LA life was leading to me.
You could do it. You got the nice Nikes on. You could do it.
I like to think I got a little bit of style, a little bit of flair. I think LA would have been a good home back then. But
you come back for your family.
I came back for my family. Yeah, I came back, and once I realized, I wasn't going back. It wasn't time for me to go back and leave the shack the way it was, leave the family, leave.
How much water did you guys get?
Over 4 feet. It was up to like the windows. Mm-hmm. Everything was in there. Everything was ruined.
And is that the current spot you're in that happened to?
Shack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shack has never moved or anything. Same spot. We went there, and I had a lot of friends.
Cut out all the sheetrock, all the
everything.
How'd the equipment do?
Everything had to be. Excuse me.
Equipment had to go too.
Everything was gone. A lot of good friends came and helped out, and we emptied the whole place out, scrubbed it, and we got open for summer.
I'll give a little shout out to a couple of the friends that helped.
We had Dan O'Cone, we had Brian Grainer, Justin Browski, John Cecere. I do have a very good loyal group of friends. Mm-hmm. No matter who I call, they'll be for me in a second.
That's awesome.
I'm very grateful.
That's community again, though.
Yeah.
You don't get that in all areas of the country.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for the community and group of guys I have.
Now, how was that when you reopened? Was the community just like right there for you? Because the people who don't know or didn't focus on it, it happened, and what was it? September, October when it happened?
November.
It was November, yeah, because Mitt Romney was running. I remember 2012 things were
right around there.
On people's windows, like Romney 2012. Yeah. But the summer obviously is coming up hot, right? You want to get open for the summer. You just laid out all your savings. You're a young guy. How old at the time?
I was probably 24, 25-ish.
24 years old.
And I was back to zero.
Back to zero?
Back to zero.
I want to talk about that. Back to zero.
Yeah.
Talking about going back to zero, one of the best things that people can do when you're trying to advance yourself in business is pay for speed. A lot of times we have deductive thinking.
Yeah.
We think that, if I can save this penny and this penny and this penny, I save a total of X. But you're being penny wise, pound foolish. Mm-hmm. Again, I said this earlier, I paid this guy $3,000 for coaching because I know he's going to shorten my learning curve probably by 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a risk I'm taking.
Yeah.
He's a very large nut every month on top of my already bills. But I would take it down to zero to get where I'm going. And as young business owners, you got to be willing to take risk, and we're going to get into risk about you.
Yeah.
You have to take it down to zero.
Yeah.
So you did that. You said, dude, I got to rebuild my business. I got to get open for summer.
Yeah, it was the money I had, go back to LA and say, Shack's it, that was it, or go back home and everything I had back to the Shack. And I decided Shack. I decided my community, my family was more important than...
Are you happy about that?
Yeah. I will never regret that.
You miss LA, don't lie.
A little bit. I miss a little, a little bit. But, I thought it was the move. And at that moment, I realized, anything crazy can happen. Yeah. Having just a business isn't enough.
Yeah.
That's when I went to...
Multiple streams of income.
I went to Larry.
You went and worked at Hess.
Yeah. I went from realizing that, this wasn't this isn't enough. If something again happens, how in the future am I going to take care of my family, my child, my wife? How am I going to make it work?
Be a provider as a male.
So I decided I went to Mr. Hess.
Which is okay to do as a male. It is okay to be a provider, just in case someone else told you different.
I went to Mr. Hess and Tony Cogliano, who was the vice president, and I asked for a position in the company. Larry was grateful enough to give me one, and I've learned so much from that position.
Speak about your relationship with Larry a little bit. Obviously, a restaurant right here in the community, their whole entire family, are big on the community.
Yeah.
Him and his mom and his wife, and they've given a lot back. But you had a personal relationship with him. Talk a little bit about what he has taught you.
Yeah, I can. Honestly, there's probably not enough words to describe Larry. He's taught me so much. He became such a mentor to me. Another father figure, and he does everything for everybody. He was like he was the go-to. He cares more about people in their community than anybody. He passed away recently, and it's been tough for me, for the family, for everybody. He's
big personality to
big
replace.
Personality, yeah.
I know I walk into Charlie's and I look over to that table and I think it's going to be him and his wife sitting there, and they were always kind to say hello to myself and Kelly, and Charlie and Chuck are doing a great job stepping in that role.
Yep.
But he definitely, he started creating this little downtown Christmas thing, that almost reminded me of like these small towns in America that had Christmas and lights, and Charlie's did amazing decorations. If you have not been to Charlie's of Bayhead during Christmas, they got the upside down Christmas trees upstairs, decorations everywhere. They do an amazing job.
They just opened another Charlie's in Lincroft. But Larry cared about the community, and he was just a family guy. That's what I love so much about him. He cared about his family more than anything, and he would do anything for his family. And Christine.
So you start working for Hess?
So I work for Hess. I've been there for 7 years. So it's obviously tough juggling a business plus having a full-time job. But I've never been shy of hard work.
That shows how hungry you are.
Yeah, I've never been shy of hard work. I've always wanted to be successful. I've always wanted to push myself. I
never talked about this on here before, but early on in my career, it's hard, man. You're getting people to entrust in you with their money. With their life savings, and I take it very, very, very serious what I do for a living. But you're young, I understand. They're looking at you like you got this broken down car. You got some cheap suits from wherever the hell I bought them at the time.
Fake till you make it.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to do. So on the weekends, I would work for an electrician. That's what it was going to take, so I can pay my basic bills, to then make sure that I had enough money to go market myself and grow a business. And a lot of people are afraid of that type of work nowadays. You're doing it, dude. I know for a fact you're always thinking, you're always grinding. And not only were you working for Hess, and not to gloss over it, but I want to move this along.
Sure.
You are trying to invent things. You invented this block for
straw dock.
Yeah, the straw dock.
Me and
talk about that a little bit.
Flashback to my old mentor wrestling coach, Dan O'Cone. He's my partner on that project, and it was an eco-friendly knife block, basically, is the best way to describe it. It was, at the time, straws were being banned everywhere.
They're still banned everywhere.
They're still banned everywhere, yeah. The economy was very against, plastic and just anything. They just wanted,
they want more diesel trucks delivering the paper straws.
Yeah.
It's more efficient.
That's more efficient for sure. But anyway, we came up with a product that
it's
held,
like the electric cars with the power thing.
Yeah, exactly. We invented a product that holds your eco-friendly metal straws. Metal straws became very popular because they were getting rid of the plastic. So everyone was buying these cool aluminum and plastic and not plastic, sorry, and metal straws, and we basically built like a knife block for those.
That's super cool. And you guys pitched it to Shark Tank, right?
Yeah, we made it. We built the video. We went to.
Yeah, talk about the process, how it works.
Oh, okay, so the process was tough because you had to find a manufacturer. You had to find someone to build. You come up with this design, but where do you go from there?
Yeah.
You got to find someone to build it. You got to find what wood works. You have to get your patents.
Where did you find that? Were you for the young guy that has a product design
Sure.
in mind. My buddy Don Salafia, shout out to Don Salafia, he helped us with the sign. He's one of my good friends. Don forever, back in the day, no longer, he's not allowed to, but we'd smoke some weed and he'd be like, I want to invent this like back scratcher that does this and that. I want to do this and that. I'm like, you never act on it.
Yeah.
So for the person who is out there and saying, I got this idea in mind, walk us through a little bit of that. Give a nugget to them of how you did that and what that process looked like.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it all starts with an idea. So it's like, do you really want to pursue it? And I am more of the person that I'd rather take the risk. I would rather say, I'm going to give this a try and it'll fail, but I'll learn from that experience. So me and my partner Dan, we said, let's let it ride. Let's figure it out. So we did a lot of research. I found a wood manufacturer in Minnesota. I sent them our design. He said, all right, I think I could do it. It was definitely a grueling process trying to go back and forth.
And who was he that you were sending the design to? He was just a manufacturing plant?
Yeah, just a wood manufacturer. He built anything with wood. And it was just through Google research, just narrowing down, who.
And do you know what type of machines he built the thing on?
I don't exactly know.
You were just like, hey, build this for me.
Basically, yeah. I sent him the plans.
What does something like that cost you? I have no idea.
So I'll tell you what, patents are expensive.
Yeah.
We went through a patent designer. We said, do we have a shot at this? We wanted a utility patent. We wanted a design patent. So that process was difficult because you had to go back and forth a few times. So it's like an initial, I think $10,000 for your initial. And then he's like, all right, well, if you get denied, it's another $2,500 to rebuttal the patent people. So we went back twice, I think, and then we finally got a utility patent. But
and little quick tip for everybody who's a young, inspiring business owner or somebody who wants to do something like that. For example, Fireside is we're spending $2,000 to make sure that we trademark the name.
Yeah.
So someone else can't take it. Before you go to that next step, before you get too excited, slow down and try to make sure that what you have is something that can be legit. If you invent something that you think is awesome, but for whatever reason,
another good point.
There's not a patent that you can get on it. It's a fucking complete waste of time.
It's a risk. It's a risk, and we kind of took that risk because we put it out in the market before the patent came in because we wanted to get the product out there. So if you do that, your risk is saying like
someone else can get to the patent guys faster than you.
You're
bigger money.
You're a big company, right?
Yeah.
So you could be like, these guys nailed it. Mm-hmm. I'll pay another $25,000.
Idiots don't have a patent on it.
I'll get another $25,000 to get my patent expedited, and you're the little guy, Yep. So you have to play your cards right. You got to be smart, but you also take risks in it. So we
absolutely.
did. I had a good friend, John Butler, who does all my woodwork. He's extremely talented. He built out my. I had a raw poke bar, which is a sushi restaurant type deal.
We're not going there yet.
Sure, but he built out my whole inside.
Yeah.
So I went to him for the design. So he built out all the plans and everything. So we took that to the patent guy, and then I took all of that to the manufacturer.
That's cool.
It's a grueling process. I've learned
and
so
just quickly,
much.
And quickly, and in 1 minute,
Shoot.
Walk us through how you got onto Shark Tank and then how that process works.
So I was like, Shark Tank is booming right now. This was pre-COVID. So probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and Shark Tank was like probably the #1 show on America, and I was like, this is a perfect, Lori Greer, let's go, put us in QVC, this is it. So I researched how to get on Shark Tank. You basically apply and you fill out these 20-page, what are your sales, how did you start your business, this whole thing, and I sent it. We had 2 interviews. And then we had a final interview, and that was like, all right, you made it to the final stage. It is the video stage. Video is basically the video that you see when you're watching them on the show, where it's like,
send in what you want to talk about.
Yeah, how did you get started? Who helped you? Blah, blah, blah. We sent that in. With COVID hitting at that moment, it was a massive, we'll get back to you. We're all out of the office. So we had to wait probably 4 or 5 months for them to tell us that this season was we're going a different direction for the concepts or whatever, the theme.
And again, the dude, they call him the Muscle, who was on the Discovery Channel. He talks about it pretty openly, so I'm not saying anything anybody shouldn't know. That he's like, reality TV is so fake.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
so
sure.
scripted,
Yeah.
and dude, you probably had an awesome concept. It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Timing's everything.
For sure, for
you know,
sure.
at the time, that disaster, right? One disaster shifted you back to where you need to be. Another disaster
Set me back.
Yeah, set you back, and that's just how things go. But do you still own the patent on it?
Yeah, we still have it. Yep.
Are you trying to like sell it at all, or
I've had a few friends that kind of wanted to take it by home. We're just,
do you have a bunch of them stocked away somewhere?
I do. Yeah, we have inventory. Yeah.
Let me get one. I'll buy one.
Yeah,
off you.
I'll gladly put one for you
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, I got you for sure. We're still on Amazon. We're still selling on Amazon if you guys want one.
Yeah.
Our website's still up and live. It just
And it's
COVID
called
hit.
the Straw Doc.
Yeah,
Right on Amazon.
strawdoc.com.
Straw Doc.
Strawdoc. Strawdoc.com. Yeah, super simple.
Yeah, awesome. So, moving forward, you obviously talked about it earlier, your relationship and love for the community. You said, I'm doing well with one restaurant,
Yeah.
but it's seasonal to a degree. I want to make sure that I can have something else that's another lever or another stream of income, and why not doing it in a town that I know a ton of people and I love?
Yeah.
So you go and launch this poke bowl.
Raw
Just so you know,
raw-
I still never have ever had a poke
Tried it?
bowl. I'm not a sushi
Do you like
guy.
all right, I'm just saying, if you like
I don't
sushi, then the best way to describe it, the business was called Raw Poke Bar. It's sushi in a bowl. That's literally the best. Any of your favorite rolls, throw into a bowl, and that was the concept. It was super popular.
People love sushi, dude. I mean,
It was when I was out in California. It was extremely successful. It was the crave. Like everyone wanted to go to these poke bowls, and it originated from Hawaii and then moved to California, and then it slowly moved across the country to New York. At the time when I was starting, was just getting a few stores.
what year was this?
4 years ago, so 2018-ish,
2018.
maybe.
So you built out that whole store right on Bay Ave, right
Yeah,
on this road.
Right on Bay Ave. It was another experience for me because I built out the store from demo. Our team came in and we knocked everything down, knocked walls down, knocked buildings down, and we ended up building this beautiful restaurant. And it was another one of those moments where it's like, if you really put your mind to it, and that was nights of me doodling, in the graph paper, making sure each equipment fit perfectly to the inches.
You're building templates.
Yeah, it was, and then just bringing a design in your head to paper.
Yeah,
And that's where
cool
my
to
friend
see.
John helped a lot, because there was a lot of wood theme, a lot of reclaimed wood action going on.
Yeah.
So we had a whole big wall that was reclaimed wood and had raw, and then he built out all my everything was custom. The whole place was beautiful.
Yeah. So a few years in, COVID hits, right?
COVID crushed us.
Yeah.
COVID crushed us. I did my
You didn't have
best.
the ability to do a lot of takeout at the time?
I did.
Because
It-
takeout won during those times.
It did, and we tried some cool concept, but it was
Can I
just
bother somebody for another high noon? Anything but black cherry.
it was just
Please.
it was just like a trying time. It just didn't work for the sushi concept, I guess. I don't know what it was. It was hard to get help. Everyone was making more money
Sitting home.
not working.
Yeah.
I also had a full-time job, so I couldn't put my hours in there.
Do you regret that at all? Do you think like, if I went all in, because I'm a big proponent on going all in.
Sure.
And not to preach to you
Yeah,
on
yeah.
camera, but dude, like, you got to go all in. If you're a business owner, go all in. Believe in yourself, and that's a little nugget. Thank you, for anybody. I hate White Claw. I'm sorry.
Take the empty.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's a White Claw. There's some in the blue cooler. I'm sorry. I'm being a pain in the ass. You got to go all in, dude.
gotta go
like,
all in,
do you
yeah.
think if you poured your time into that, and again, another tragic black swan event.
Yeah.
No one saw this pandemic happening. It hit the country. You were shut down as a restaurant owner. You could only do takeout. Like, do you think if you fully dove into it, you could have saved it, or you could have had it trend more in the right direction and not get you frustrated?
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm asking you a tough question. I
Yeah,
know.
it's a tough question for sure. But I'll gladly answer it. It's tough leaving stability to take the full risk. And at the time, Shaq was still successful, so I don't want to say I neglected Raw, but it fell to the waistline, and that's a regret for me.
Thank you so much.
Because I like being fully involved in everything I'm part of, and I like being present and having the right people in place. And I think it was just a bad mix. It was just a bad timing.
Yeah.
I think
timing of a lot of things.
Yeah, I think the concept was there. I think in a different time it would have been.
And they opened back up eventually, and you were crushing it. We
were very
came out the
successful in the
gates
beginning.
very successful.
Yeah, we were
COVID
super
hit,
busy.
and then you were still end up able to sell it for a couple bucks.
Yes, yeah, we ended up selling the business last 2 years ago now, which was lucky on honestly the way the small businesses were working out at that time. Everyone was just going out of business.
Yeah.
I got lucky and got a sale out of me and my partner, made some money on the deal, but it still has a little piece in my mind for sure to see what was, and I think it really goes back to also having like the right people in place.
Yeah,
like
people.
Shaq, I have my mom. Like
People
I have
is
Carlene.
everything. Paul talked about a lot. People.
Yeah, having the right staff, and I truly, and this goes back to Larry. Larry always said, you treat your employees like their family, and they'll treat you the right way back, and they'll do all the extra for you if you can't do it. And I see that with the Hess companies, that there's a lot of people that go over, what they should be doing because of how much they love Larry and how Larry treated them and the family and Christine and everybody. So I try to instill that in my business plan, where I treat my family as if your last name is Rega. You're part of our crew.
Yeah.
I'll do anything for you guys. I'll help you. We'll make it work. And I think that's what it takes, and I think that's what kind of...
And it's hard to do that too.
It's hard. It's hard to
live
help.
up to that. Yeah.
It's hard to, but I would rather do that as a business owner and have a little less success than treating my employees like shit and having more success. A
lot of business owners are miserable. Like, if you're going to be a business owner, man, you got to have a positive outlook.
Yeah.
You got to be a leader for your team. You got to be a leader for your family. And you got to stay focused on that end goal and not let the shit in between. I just wrote a newsletter. Shout out to my newsletter if you're not on there.
Let's go. Sign up.
The Pit. You can find that right in the link tree. Dude, I wrote this the other day. It was the show goes on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you shout out to my father-in-law, Jim Mindel. He probably doesn't like that I share this, but Jim went through, cancer, and he didn't have a great diagnosis. They were pretty negative. And the dude got up and went to work. He never told his work at the time that he even had it going on. And I asked him one day, I'm like, dude, how do you do it? And he goes, I still have bills that roll up every single month. It doesn't matter if I have cancer or what's going on. The mortgage still needs to be paid.
Yeah.
And that's business, man. Shit happens. Whatever it is, it's a black swan event, a pandemic, a storm like Sandy, a child that's sick, God forbid, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
If you want to stay in business long term, you have to have the ability to ride out the storm.
Yeah. I learned, going back to like my father and my family, my dad was one of the hardest workers, still is, I learned a lot from him. And it's funny now being older, seeing, when I was younger, him working.
What does your dad do?
He's a little bit of everything. He's like, I think I got like my entrepreneurship from him. He does real estate. He sells cars he used to own a car dealership, a used car dealership. Now he sells used cars on the side. He's just a hard worker. And he used to work night security. He used to be head of security at Jenkinson. So he would be in the morning, do the ice cream thing, go sell a few houses, go sell the cars all over again for 30 years. And still be able to go to all my wrestling matches, go to my brother's sports, be there for me.
Well, just so you know, he was able to do that because he was a business owner.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Everything you described, in my eyes, creates flexibility.
Yeah.
When you're not there, you feel like you're not making money, per se.
Yeah.
But, you're on the sideline watching your kid wrestle.
Yeah.
There's nothing more important than that. And that's a big thing that people don't talk about as business owners is flexibility. Business ownership creates so much flexibility for you to just go live your life, whatever it is. Even if you don't have a family, dude. If you're crazy into mountain biking or traveling or
whatever your passions are.
Whatever your passion is, being a business owner allows you to do that. And I can't say enough. I say it all the time. I probably sound repetitive and like an idiot, but man, I encourage everybody, if you have any bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, you know, take your shot, take a risk. If you're miserable where you are, who cares? You know, you're a teacher and you hate your job. Guess what? They're hiring more teachers 5 years from now. They're begging teachers. My wife's building had 16 teachers
I'm
leave.
sure, especially nowadays. Yeah.
Take your shot.
Yeah, it leads up to like my father. You know, my father was an old school Italian, so you know, mom, she was pregnant, mom was home.
Yeah.
You know, not going to work. You're raising. You know,
your dad was a provider.
My dad was a provider. It still is. And
I just brought my wife home. It feels awesome. You know, everybody wants to buy a G-Wagon or 5 Rolexes. Like my flexes, I brought my wife home.
Yeah,
like that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the real flex. And and now that I'm older, to really see like my dad put in that work and put in that time to make sure that when I called mom at school, she can go bring me my shorts my
PBJ.
wrestling shoes that I forgot.
Your fucking Nikes.
My Nike shoes I could wear. But you know, when you get older, you really appreciate the sacrifices that your family has done for you, and I really do appreciate it now.
Yeah, you're gonna be a good dad. When is the kids coming? When's the wedding?
Oof. I put off. It's been 15 to 20 years to put the engagement.
You guys been together that long?
On and off. We've been on and off since high school. A lot of on,
shit.
a lot of off.
Yeah.
I just got engaged in April.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah, thank you. So soon, it's time. I need a little.
I don't think enough men. A lot of men like want to be like macho and like.
I am that macho.
No,
guy.
but I'm saying, but a lot of men want to be like macho and they're like, I'm the man of the house. Like, marriage is cool when you find the right one.
Yeah,
and
for
you
sure.
got real love. It's good shit, and I'm sure you guys will have an awesome time. All that shit when you were young, that stuff's immature.
Yeah, she's been my ride or die. She's been my biggest supporter. If I go to her and say I'm going to go build, the Empire State Building, I don't like it, I'm going to go build one next to it, she'd be like, all right, let's go.
Let's
you can do it.
Yeah.
Even, I'm trying to start a few other side projects and I'm hesitant a little bit, and she's, no, let's go.
Yeah, you were saying tonight, you were asking her, like, what did I say on the podcast?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and to your full defense, like a lot of people roll like down this long driveway into the backyard, like they don't know what's really going to hit them.
Yeah.
They see the clips or maybe they've listened to a couple, but you came back here, we had a couple drinks at the bar, we chilled out, we make the experience
If you
fun.
get on here, it's very chill. You're good. You're good. You just got to wing it.
It's totally chill because I enjoy this. This is my setting. This is why Kelly and I, made this backyard. So shout out to all the fiancés and wives and girlfriends out there that support your man.
Yeah, and putting up with us.
Yeah.
Chelsea's put up with a lot of me, for sure. So thank you, babe.
Kelly puts up with me every day.
That's funny.
She's putting 2 kids to bed. So, risk taker, entrepreneur, like, what's next? Like, what are you looking to do?
It's not enough. Honestly, I just want to push myself. I want to find the right niche. And I've talked to you about this. I just can't. It was always like the get rich. Everyone wants to get rich quick. It's like they don't sit
I want the next
down.
pliables. I want,
Exactly. Well, Rob figured it out, and Mike Subs built it. You got to sit back. You got to find what you're good at. You got to really
discover
discover you. So I feel like I have been finding that path. I have a few ideas in mind. I want to do it right this time. I want to take it slow. I want to make sure it's the right path for me. And on to the next.
Isn't it so funny that like you hit a certain age and life starts to come to you?
Yeah.
Versus like you chasing it down.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in business. I've been blessed now in my financial planning practice. Like I have referrals almost every single week. This show has provided a ton of additional eyes indirectly to my business, although I don't talk a lick about financial planning.
Yeah, no.
And I think that's something you learn over time, patience. So for the young business owner out there, that's, again, like I've said it a million times, willing to chew through concrete to find success, like be patient a little bit. Like give yourself a little pat on the back. You're doing a good job. Don't be so overwhelmed. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Mike, a guy who works for me, he joined the team this week.
Let's go, Mike.
Let's go, Mike. He's going to crush it. He's a good dude. He's a very smart guy. He's a very likable guy, way more likable than me. But this guy showed me a picture of this mirror, and he was like, President of the United States, like, run 400 miles. No bullshit. I think it was 400. Maybe it might have been 500 miles. Like, bike 6,000 miles. Like, pass this test, do this. And I'm like, dude, you're putting way too much pressure on yourself, dog. And he had to accomplish those by the end of the week.
Yeah, I was just saying, some people just have it in, you have to set high standards because you know you can accomplish them. And I just think...
It also applies a lot of pressure to young people. That's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah.
It's good to have great goals and visualize that, and don't ever come off that. But your end goal that's in the future, right? And I always talk about this, fixate on your end goal. But that doesn't mean the path along the way doesn't zig and zag. You know, I was just up in Wyndham. To get up the mountain, you got to hit that switchback and hit the other switchback, and that's ownership. That's entrepreneurship. Do. But stay focused on where you want to go. Don't apply so much pressure early on.
If you would have told me this was my path when I was in college, I would have been like, not a chance, not even close. And the best advice I could say is to like young entrepreneurs is just take your time. And like you said, just it'll come to you. Everyone tries to rush and push these like this will work, but they're not doing the research. They're not putting in the time. They're just trying to get rich quick.
At the same time, which is kind of an oxymoron to what I just said, take steps forward.
For sure.
Just articulate the ball down the field. Try things. Don't overthink it. Try if it doesn't work, move on. Don't overthink the loss. Those are all learning steps, and that's cliche. Everybody talks about it. You fail, you're learning.
I live by that. I said it earlier. I would rather try and fail than not try at all.
I fully see that in you. And you will end up with some cool ass thing that you sell on fucking QVC or some other shit.
That.
But just when you hit it for like 10, 15 million, just come talk to me about the tax strategy.
I got you, dog. You're in my crew for life now. We're good. Yeah.
Team. You got to build a good team, and that's
you got to find the right people in your circle.
Tobias talked about that a lot. You know, who's the right people in your circle? Who had your back? Who's a good guy or gal?
Larry was. Larry. This guy Tony. He's been a lot of help. His brother John. My family.
Yeah.
Mom, my close
your dad,
friends. My mom. My dad.
brother.
My brother is my ear.
Mm-hmm.
I got to call him and bother him all day. He's got to listen to me vent, and then, his girlfriend gets the tail end of it, and then, my
we should
fiance.
make an Instagram, The Ear.
The Ear?
That'd be a sweet Instagram,
Yeah, I like
right?
that.
The Ear. And we just create like a ton of parodies of like people who are someone else's ear. They just sit there and listen to someone vent.
Yeah, somebody, listen, when I called Chelsea and I just
write that down, The Ear.
Yeah, right. Sometimes you just gotta vent. You just gotta and that person doesn't have to say a word, not even a word.
Yeah, you're just looking to flip out on somebody.
It's they just gotta listen to you vent, and that helps. That gets your mind clear, and Chelsea's been that for me. My close friends, Larry.
You have good people around you. You know why? Because people believe in you. I believe in you, dude. I think you're gonna do big shit.
I appreciate that.
So to round this out, I like to ask 2 questions.
Shoot.
First question is, give us some other 2, 3, or 4 quickly business owners in the Point, Brielle, Wall, Brick area that you want to give a shout out to. You either love their restaurant, or you love their service they provide to you, or you love their product, whatever it may be. Let's give a couple people a shout.
I'm gonna have to go with Charlie's, not just because I work for the family, but they're top notch. They if I ever went another restaurant, I would like to model it around them. They customer service, the way they treat everybody, their food is amazing. Their staff. Everybody.
One thing I want to point out, most people may not know this about me.
Shoot.
But I'm a super attention to detail guy.
Okay.
When I walk into a restaurant, like I'm judging you based on like, is this real wood? Is it really stained? Like, how is the bar set up? And again, I'm no restaurant expert, but it's just my experience of being in restaurants and bars. Like, what do I like?
Yeah.
And they hit it down here with Charlie's of Bayhead.
Yeah.
And we don't have to describe that. A lot of people have been there already. But the new spot, Charlie's of Lincroft, I like that just as much. And it's just as nice, and it's just as high end, but it's got that Montana, Wyoming feel. Yeah. It's got like that mountain feel, and that's totally me. And the food is also delicious. It's like that high-end tavern.
Yeah.
So shout out to Charlie's.
Shout out to Charlie's of Lincroft and Charlie's of Bayhead. You can't be in Point Beach and not respect Mike Subs for what they've done. Another local.
Peter killing it.
Another local guy that grew a little corner store into
2,500.
The biggest fastest growing franchise.
yeah.
It's insane.
I think he's overtaken Subway now.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
What they did is amazing. I have a lot of friends that work for them, and they love. That's another guy that's taking care
That's
of their
the cool
employees.
shit about some shit like that, and
Yeah.
that's what people don't realize. Like, you go and kill it. Like,
Take care of your community.
I'm going to say this out on the whim, and like maybe people take it wrong. Like, Fireside's going to the fucking moon.
Let's
dude.
go. Fucking
And
to
we're
the moon,
gonna
baby.
help so many people. That's in my circle. It's in my tribe. You included.
Appreciate that.
Jersey Mike's did that. Peter got out and led, and I don't know him obviously.
Yeah.
But he obviously got out and led, and he gave so much success for people who have beautiful homes here in the community.
Yeah.
That worked for him. You know, they all did together as a team.
I'll tell you one thing, Peter and Mike Manzo, who's like one of his right-hand guys, another local Point Beach, if you went to them and asked, they're there for you.
Yeah, they give.
They give. Mike Manzo and Peter Cancro are one of the most, second to Big Larry.
Yeah.
They would do anything to help the community. Even not even Point Beach, Manasquan, anyone
Yeah, they're
local,
all over, yeah.
they want to help, they want to give back, they want to give you everything that they can. And
It's a great model.
That's what I want to.
They give back and then they make money. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that too.
That's
If
what I
you're-
grow
If
to.
you're giving and you're making, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's what I would. I love giving back, and if I could, to be successful enough to help. And
Give us one more small guy.
Let's do my guy Joe at DV Tree. I really love
Yeah.
what he did over there.
They're great.
I've known Joe forever when he used to be my bartender at the Broadway, and for him to turn around that spot, it's awesome for the community. It's busy every time I drive
It's so
by.
community.
It's awesome, and I appreciate Joe for giving
My
back.
last episode I was actually rocking his new
Yeah.
multi-camo hat.
He probably doesn't even know that, but Joe, I respect you, dude. You're crushing it over there. That's great.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and Malin also does an amazing job. She's in charge of the bakery. She's now even a better mom. I just
awesome.
I love to see small business owners
Yeah,
winning.
for sure.
The last question, and we can wrap it up quick, is if there was one thing, one statement or one meme you could put on social media for the young business owner to inspire them or to get them through a frustrating time, what would that thing be that you tell them? In a few words.
Yeah, you got to believe in yourself. At the end of the day, it's all smoke and mirrors, and you gotta sit and look at yourself in the mirror and say, can you do this? And you can. You gotta believe in yourself, and once you believe in yourself, everyone will follow. They'll all get behind you, and that's the best I say.
Yeah, and listen, even during that and after you make that commitment,
Yeah.
sometimes there's a little bit of insecurities, right? Sometimes there's little things that slip in your mind like, oh, I can't do it. I still to this day experience that. Like, shit, I'm gonna go hire this guy $3,000 a month. I'm gonna go to his event for $5,000.
Yeah.
That's big money to just throw around for extra marketing on top of my already bills. But I believe in where I'm going. I believe in Fireside. I believe in my tribe around me that has my back. And
Yeah.
dude, this has been fun. I hope you had fun.
I had a great time.
I love having on the local people, man. The local regular dude is more hype for me than the biggest guy that
I
rolls
appreciate
through.
that, and hopefully I'll be the biggest guy one day.
I believe you can be if you just
Thank
stay
you.
to it and get focused.
Yeah, I mean, nothing in life is easy. We got to work for it, and let's go.
Absolutely.
It's
More
go
people
time.
need to learn to work. Cheers.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
Great time.